Hello and welcome to Backup as a Service, 21st Century Data Availability Assurance. I'm Michael Krieger with TechTarget, and the market for backup is hot right now thanks to ransomware and compliance issues that are bringing data availability into the forefront. IDC says the amount of data we're going to deal with is going to hit 160 zettabytes by 2025. The cost and complexity are only going to get harder. So joining me today to talk about this is a great panel. First, we have JP Sani. JP is the Chief Information Officer for TRC. JP, thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Also with me is Prem Ananthakrishnan. He is the VP of Products for Druva, who's sponsoring our video today. Thanks for joining me, Prem.
Great to be here.
And joining us via Skype from the great state of New Jersey, Kevin Clements, the Chief Technology Officer for SHI. Kevin, thanks.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So let me get right into it. JP, what are the biggest challenges that you're seeing regarding data availability and backup?
Well, that's a great discussion to be had. We used to have all these traditional, or we call it more predictable challenges of sheer growth of the data, the complexity within the data, and then leading to a more data-centric on-premise approach. I think the industry has come a long way. There's some pretty good solutions around it. So our major challenge, and how I see it in the industry, is more about the governance around the data. How do we deal with from a compliance aspect? How do we keep up with the regulatory aspects of whether it's the North American or European aspects of GDPR and others? From my viewpoint, we see more of the new evolving challenges, like how do we protect this data now? How do we stay in compliance with it? How do we make sure that the data is available for our business continuity aspects? How do we keep these bad actors out? Especially in a business like ours, where we have intellectual property-based business, data is everything to us. That is our reputation in the marketplace. That is what's driving our top line, our profitability. So for us, protecting the data and stay in compliance so we don't get in trouble with the regulators is key, and I think that's really the latest challenge at hand.
So, Kevin, I used to say that backup is easy. It's restore that's always going to get you. Is that still the case?
Unfortunately, not really. We used to all think we had a good handle on backup, but really we were mostly backing up the data that was on site in our data centers. So we had good solutions for that, but as the number of places, whether it's SaaS applications, cloud platforms, and simply the sheer scale of data we're trying to deal with have changed, simply getting the data backed up in a timely, consistent fashion has gotten to be a real challenge. I mean, it's just a lot of data to deal with. And we still have challenges around going and trying to restore the data, particularly if you're backing the data up to tape. Finding the data, getting the right tapes moving, and getting that data restored can be a really time-consuming problem. So we're getting it from both sides now.
So in our hybrid multi-cloud world, how do you keep the data safe when you don't often know where the workloads are?
Well, Michael, when you think about a hybrid or multi-cloud environment, your data and applications are highly distributed, sprawled across so many different locations. On top of that, your data is just growing at an unprecedented rate, where your data is now everywhere thanks to big data and IoT. So when you take that problem statement and think about what that means to an organization, say like TRC, they need a much more centralized and scalable approach to managing this data. And there's no better place than the cloud to really centralize this data and bring that visibility to meet the compliance and the data availability needs for an organization. And that's exactly what we do with our Druva Cloud platform and the data management as a service approach. We provide that single pane of glass for enterprises to protect, govern, and manage their data across the hybrid workloads. So irrespective of where your data is, you're always protected.
So what about other cloud deployments like platform as a service or SaaS? How do you get that all integrated into one solution? Can you?
I'm glad you asked. Currently with our Druva platform, we have a variety of workloads that we can protect and manage, starting with the endpoints, going to your infrastructure applications like virtual machines, physical servers, NAS devices, and even databases. We also support cloud workloads in the form of SaaS applications today, like Office 365, Box, Salesforce, and G Suite. Again, we provide the full data protection, data governance, and data intelligence value on top of these workloads. Today, we are announcing a brand new service called Druva Apollo, which takes that complete data protection and management value and extends that into platform as a service and infrastructure as a service applications. Our customers are increasingly consuming public cloud services like Amazon S3, Amazon EC2, including JP's team is doing some testing with these kind of applications. And what they're seeing is a whole new set of data protection and management challenges. Things around data recovery, but also challenges around data lifecycle management. And that's where Apollo comes in and provides that complete set of data protection and management for this platform as a service and infrastructure as a service workloads.
So I see you nodding your head, JP. Is this something that's attractive to your organization?
Yeah, this is music to my ears. This is awesome. I think we should be able to jump right on it. And we are a multi-cloud implementation. We have data coming from IoT devices, our traditional data sources, and then split between Azure and AWS. So I think having a more holistic view and having a more central container to bring this all together allows us to then look at data differently. I mean, we could do some analysis on it. We can look at the seasonality within our data. We can look at other aspects of the data, not just simply protect it and make sure it's available for recovery, but there are other aspects that you can pursue by bringing it all together.
Monetize the data.
Monetize the data at the end of the day. That's a good desired point of ours, but it's doable. And I think with this approach, this will enable us to even take a shot at that.
So, Prem, let me ask, why does cloud data need protecting? Isn't it supposed to be protected out there?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. When people think about the cloud, they always think they're 100% protected. Well, that's not the case, and we're finding this more and more with not just the public cloud data, but also data in SaaS and other applications. When you think about the cloud, there's this whole notion of shared responsibility model, where the cloud provider really gives you the infrastructure level protection. However, you, the customer, is really responsible for your data itself. So you could lose your data in so many different ways, other than just losing your hard drive or things like that, which used to be relevant in the on-premise world. So as an example, we've had customers who have lost their data in the cloud because an engineer went in and basically wrote a bad line of code, which started deleting a lot of information, say in Amazon S3. We've had people who accidentally logged into their Amazon account and deleted one of their copies of data or snapshots.
Happens every day.
Exactly. I mean, and the other thing that happens all the time is a bad or a rogue actor, to your point earlier, who logs in and is able to just go and delete information because it's maybe a disgruntled employee. So there are so many different reasons why you can lose data in the cloud. And it's really important to have the right kind of data protection and recovery tools in place so that you can bring back your data. And also, obviously, it goes back to the whole notion of, are you being compliant with all your policies? Because at the end of the day, if you're not able to bring it back and be compliant, you're losing a lot.
Sure.
Let me add something to that, which is something that we are looking into and struggling with is, the most of the providers in the cloud, they give you a basic time period for how long they will retain your data. But if you are looking at extended periods of time that you have to be able to retain the data, either it's a contractual obligation or you just want to simply have the data for monetization or other reasons, I think with this approach, this will give us the second layer or extension of life on the data so we can manage the life cycle of the data better.
That's absolutely right. In fact, cost is one of the biggest concerns that people have with the public cloud. And another classic use case there is, as you're getting all this big data and putting information in the cloud, you have a ton of information sitting there. And then when you think about lifecycle management of that data, what do you keep, what do you retain versus what do you discard? And how do you effectively manage the cost aspect of this while not giving up on your compliance and risk elements? And that's where Apollo comes in. Apollo helps you really manage the lifecycle of the data through policies and helps you orchestrate the data. So you can actually think about this as cost savings. You can move certain data which is aged from a high-cost storage like Amazon EFS into a low-cost storage like Amazon S3 and save a ton of money. So those are the kind of things that we're bringing to market with this new innovative solution with Apollo.
So let me ask about security for a second, because it's usually top of mind in almost every IT organization. How important is a data backup and availability strategy as part of a security policy?
You know, Michael, when you think about security, you always have to think of a layered approach, right? It's the whole defense in depth strategy that people have been advocating for years. And to me, data protection becomes an absolute must in the context of security. You can protect your perimeter, you can put in all kind of defense mechanisms that you want, but at the end of the day, something bad is always likely to happen, right? I mean, think about everything that's happening out there with ransomware, people trying to obviously be compliant with their security in terms of GDPR, and all of that is clearly indicating that you need to have data protection as a core element of your security strategy. And companies often sort of, they think of this as risk management, but frankly, the level of risk is so high, they always downplay the data protection piece. But I really think with everything that's going on out there, you have to make data protection an absolute requirement of your security strategy.
Kevin, let me bring you in on this point.
Sure. I think the timing of this offering is great because we're seeing a lot of our customers move to AWS. They're moving significant amounts of their data and their workloads there, and building and securing that is really important to them. Prem, you mentioned the shared security model, and that's key to responsibly moving your operations and your data out to the cloud. The cloud providers like AWS give you great tools to secure the platform itself. If you care about the various compliance and security regimes and certifications out there, they have the tools and certifications to help you maintain those kinds of certifications, comply with the regimes you care about. But there's still another layer of protecting your data, making sure that you know where it is, you can get it back in a timely fashion, and you've protected all of those assets. That's really important. So we're really happy to see these kinds of offerings available out on AWS.
Well, I want to thank you for your time today, all of you, including you, Kevin, out there in New Jersey. So today we heard a lot about how data backup and the protection of data is moving towards data management in the cloud as a new model, like the Druva platform. Also talked about the importance of backing up your data, all your workloads, no matter where they may reside. And tell us where people can find out more about this.
Our customers can go to druva.com and sign up for free trials. You can also check out these two new solutions that we'll be showcasing them at the upcoming AWS reInvent conference as well.
Thanks once again, Prem, for Tech Target. This is Michael Krieger saying thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.